some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs, welcome to the Monday National Championship Edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, Charles Hanniger, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. I'm glad you're with us here today. When we left you on Friday, so we'll either be talking about the national championship or we'll be talking about Game 3. As it turns out, LSU wins the two games to give the program their 8th national title. It was a very close pair of games. Coastal Carolina's 26-game win streak came to an end on Saturday night at the hands of Cade Anderson, who threw a complete game shutout in a 1-0 win. Guy had his curveball working maybe better than at any point in his terrific season on Saturday, and it set the tone for Sunday's game that had Anthony Ianson come with a strong performance, finished up with Chase Shores. Just enough offense to get it done. Not a lot of runs scored in this series. Wind was blowing in, but it was also some outstanding pitching on both sides. Save maybe Jacob Morrison, who had his toughest outing of the season for Coastal Carolina, their ace in the game on Sunday. Jay Johnson, 2 national titles in 4 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty
the
good.
youngest coach ever to win a pair at the same school. And the program winning 2 out of the last 3 national championships, once again firmly atop college baseball. Jimmy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. Congratulations. Good call. LSU in 2. I thought these 2 teams it'd be tough to keep them from a game tonight. But certainly some fireworks controversy. But you say he had his curveball working. Todd Walker he walked more than he usually does. He hit batsmen. And Walker said if you want to compare, you want to rank his stuff, he went from a 1 to a 10. He had like 5 tonight. And that even makes it more impressive that you can go throw a complete game shutout without working your best stuff. He pitched. He had to pitch instead of just throw. So he was – that 1-run lead seemed to be big, though, Charlie. It seemed to be with the conditions, with Anderson, it just seemed like bigger. And even 5-3, it just with the conditions, with LSU, what Shores are we going to see when we come in? His overall numbers, he's been more dependable as of late. But, man, those flags were whipping. I mean, they were whipping. In from right to left, kind of helped, actually, the Coastal ball get out.
The first home run,
You could get out there, but it just you can go through a team that's won 26 games in a row and use 3 pitchers. That's unbelievable. And Ianson's out pitch. When he got 2 strikes, them guys weren't coming close. On striking them out.
That breaking ball is just filthy when it's on, and it's been on for probably every game since the middle of the season. Anderson, I was so impressed with his ability to work off the breaking ball instead of the fastball, because the fastball he was having a hard time locating it. 74% of his strikes with the off-speed stuff, and just 56% with the fastball. So he was definitely working off of that. He threw 22 curveballs in the game.
The numbers don't add up. You saying 75 pitches? You said
No,
75%.
74%. Yeah.
And then what's the other number you throw?
56% of his fastballs were for strikes. 74% of his breaking balls were for strikes.
Okay.
He threw 22 curveballs in the game.
Yeah, which is backwards usually.
Yes.
Yeah.
He threw 22 curveballs in the game, 20 of them for strikes. Okay, so he had that 7 swings and misses on the curveball, which is the most that he's had in any game in his LSU career. He also had 3 strikeouts off the changeup, which was a really good pitch for him. The walks were up a little bit for him, but he only gave up 3 hits. And for the 2 games, LSU gave up less than 1 base runner per inning. So they didn't do, they didn't do a lot of damage. It seemed like Coastal could never get the type of momentum offensively that they needed to really make a run at this thing. There were some terrific defensive plays. Braswell made 2 or 3 plays that were just not in any way routine, and he made terrific plays on them. The double play that ended the game was kind of fitting, because when I think back about this team, I'll think about pitching and defense first. I'll think about an infield that was as airtight as any in college baseball that I have ever seen, and 2 starting pitchers up at the top of this rotation that compare very favorably to any top 2 that LSU's ever had, and a bullpen that became deeper as the season went along, especially in the last month. It wasn't a team that hit a ton of home runs. It was a team that was prone to some offensive lapses. And they didn't tear the cover off the ball in these 2 games either, but they got enough timely hits. They got enough hits when they absolutely had to have them. It was Milam on Saturday. Yesterday it was Stanfield and Curiel that got the hits with runners in scoring position that they needed to have. So they did everything that you have to do to win a close ball game.
We talked about the fielding, though, for a long time. And this is as good as it gets, and it was important. But we talked about this ballpark as well, and man, when you don't give any extra outs, throughout this entire tournament, the big runs were, the hit batsmen, the errors. The Arkansas stuff. That kind of. It's just, if you got good pitching and good fielding in this park, it's going to be tough. Now, 9 at bats the Coastal had, and certainly that coach, his I guess his irritations started on Saturday night. I thought that there was some carryover, but he had the Reds pretty good in the post-game press conference, 0 for 9. And that's a stat. That's black and white, okay? 0 for 9 is 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Understand that. But he wasn't this little warm and fuzzy figure on Saturday night that you would expect from, the Cinderella story. The team with the team with the much less resources and the park and everything else and the brand, and taking a poll, 47 of the 50 states are pulling for them because they got teal. That's a kind of a warm and fuzzy color, huh, Charlie? Just coastal Carolina, the Shants. What's that? What is it? How do you pronounce it? Just this little Cinderella story. And, man, he was a cranky son of a gun on Saturday night that I think spilled over to Sunday afternoon. It
was even before that. It was almost like he was trying to play the disrespect card when it really wasn't there. All you heard all week was, this is not a Cinderella team.
Okay? No, he had to hear that. These guys are good.
Yeah. So it was very difficult to play the disrespect card when everybody's singing your praises, when you've won 26 games in a row. So, it started out early. Let me tell you guys how to say it. It's Chanticleers. Okay, that's fine. And then you get to the Friday press conference, which is it's a softball. It's the pre-National Championship Series. This is a celebration of your program, and kind of went in there with a little attitude. What do you admire about LSU? Nothing. But by itself, who cares? But it was kind of, you're right, went in there a little bit cranky. Now, as far as the ejection, I don't know what he said. Okay, I know he had been warned. Was I shocked? Yes. That I expect that the umpires are going to have a pretty lenient tolerance in a national championship game, in a national championship series. So, you really got to drop the big F-bombs, and you got to ask for it. And I thought when he put the 3 fingers up, maybe the umpire felt like he was trying to show him up. Whatever it was, he threw him out, and he threw the first base coach out in the first inning. You don't ever see that. And so was the umpire quick on the trigger? I thought he was, but I don't know what Schnall said either. I don't know. This may have started, obviously it started a few pitches back. So, yeah, I was stunned that he got thrown out of the game. And to get thrown out of a game like that, I mean, these are the best umpires that they got. They have a grading system, too. So I would imagine he's well aware this is the national championship game. I don't want this guy to have to go watch this game from the clubhouse. I really don't, okay?
Well, that wasn't his approach.
But
okay, and okay, if you're going to be the story of the game or one of them, you're not doing your job. Okay, you're supposed to go unnoticed, and you said a lenient level of tolerance. No, it's got to be off the charts. Like you cannot be sensitive in the national championship series to the point where you're doing something historical. There's never been a first inning ejection, much less multiple games in the first inning in the championship series. There's never been a first inning ejection in the history of the College World Series. You're making history. You're becoming noticed. And did we know this guy's name before the weekend started? We know it now. And that's not your job. Yes, you can't throw F-bombs. It sure looked like a lot of F-bombs from the coach, but you just can't even. Yes, he got warned, but Charlie, by the book, there's all kinds of ejections that go by the wayside that aren't, that they could have done by the book. All right, you are just way too. We know you. We notice you too much, and that's. I don't care what sport officiating. That's not good. We talk about it all the time, though. The gap between MLB umpiring and college umpiring, it's not close.
No, it's not.
And you're not going to see this in Game 4 of the World Series.
No.
You're just not going to see it.
But the Schnall, I think, also bears some responsibility here, okay? Did I think it was a quick trigger? Yes, I did. Let me be perfectly clear about that. But does Schnall at some point have to check himself and say, look, man, I'm steamed. I don't like the strike zone. I've let him know about it. I've been warned. I got to watch myself here. Do I think he's going to throw me out of the national championship game? No.
Did he put his team in the best position by the way he acted?
No.
No, he did not.
No.
Okay, so yes, he has to own some of it.
Yeah.
But the umpire trumped him. I mean,
I thought it was quick. I thought it was quick.
Who didn't think it was quick?
Well, it's not. It's not that it's the first.
It's first ever.
What did you say?
He's still far away from him. He's not in his face, making contact, spitting in his face,
he wasn't.
MFing him, right in his where everybody could see.
And
how many people in the stands could see what he's saying? The camera's close up; you could kind of read lips.
Yeah.
But
it is a long way from the dugout to home plate.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of foul territory there. So you gotta really, your voice got to carry a little bit.
Flip the script. If Johnson gets tossed into first, I mean, it's bombarded. Okay, it's not. But Johnson's funny, his mentality, he's kind of the aw shucks guy, nothing but respectful, nothing but sort of, I mean, the Arkansas, did he go out of his way to praise Arkansas?
Yes.
I mean, who's a thorn in his side? I mean, because they get out and recruit at the same level he does, for the most part, they go head to head on some kids. And it's just kind of, he's more of the guy from the little engine that could. And this guy, and sometimes we see that a little bit out of ULL. They come in here, they're the inferior roster, they're the inferior program, but they're going to try and get under LSU's skin. Sometimes when you're the underdog, you try and throw the favorite off. These guys are no underdogs. These guys are no underdogs. This roster was no underdogs. And if anything, I don't know if he calls the pitches. He seems like he's pretty hands-on. But his star, his ace, who's very emotional, and there's no way to prove this, he wasn't himself.
No, it's his worst outing of the year.
Well, he was not himself. And we've seen him on this stage be damn good. And he's very emotional. And against Oregon State, against Auburn, he's emotional. And all of a sudden, he had to be like the calm guy and talk to the coming off the mound and be kind of, I'm trying to be. You never saw that emotion. You never saw how effective. Now, he's still up in the zone. Would he have been up in the zone if nothing happens? On the key hits that he gave up to LSU. Don't know, but it's his worst outing of the year. In some very favorable pitching conditions.
We're here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs. Boy, I got a lot going on here as we wind down in June. Thomas Kane Band will be here on Friday night. We got live music every weekend here at Big Mike's. The Honky Tonk Playboys, the Floyd Brown Band, DJ Cowboy Chris have been here just recently. The I-10 Bound Band just here a couple of weeks ago, and Thomas Kane will be here this weekend. Of course, the Big Mike's one of the best happy hours anywhere from 3 until 7, Monday through Friday, with highly discounted well drinks, beer, draft, and bottles. And, of course, you got that all day on Sunday starting at 11 a.m. So you can get in here, watch all the sports on the big screens. Not too early to start thinking about your fantasy football drafts. They've got multiple-sized party rooms here. So however big your league is, they can accommodate you. Come in here and get those things done. Big supporters here of the local high school athletic programs, and high school football be here before you know it. So come on out to Big Mike's, have a terrific lunch, enjoy the happy hour here in the sports bar, and we'd love to see you out here on this Monday as we continue to talk about LSU's 8th national championship. Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
This is Charles Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Hannycast will drop tomorrow, be our final one before we break for the summer. We'll have that up tomorrow afternoon, recapping LSU's win up in Omaha for their 8th national championship. All tournament team, Jared Jones, Stephen Milam, Derek Curiel, who all had massive plays in this tournament.
You got the whole team?
I do. And Cade Anderson was the most outstanding player.
Deservedly.
Absolutely. 16 innings of one-run baseball against Coastal and Arkansas. Two outstanding
One
teams.
solo shot.
That's it. I got the rest of the team.
The pitcher for Arkansas.
Gage Wood.
Did the pitcher for Coastal make it?
Just two. So it was Wood and Anderson. So that's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
Two pitchers. Okay.
Two pitchers on the team, and.
Did they go by position?
Yep. They give three outfielders.
Okay.
Like center fielder. Just outfielders. The catcher from Arizona, Guzman, was on the team. Camu Neighbors from Louisville at second, Monroe from Louisville at third, Milam at short, Curiel at one of the outfield spots, Eddie King from Louisville and Justin Thomas from Arkansas, the two other outfielders. And the only kid from Coastal that made it was a DH, Dean Mios. And Cade Anderson, Jimmy, we talk a lot about, guys that emerge in the tournament can make themselves some money, basketball and baseball. Could Cade Anderson have done any more to, plant, his stake to the number one pick in this draft? Johnson was, giving him a full, throated endorsement on Saturday night, which that's his guy. But when you look at it, wow, okay, what else?
It's going to be, the kid Holiday is a younger brother of Jackson Holiday, but he's not like his brother. He is considerably bigger and stronger. And he's a corner infielder as opposed to Jackson for the Orioles being a middle infielder. Jackson Holiday is probably a tick or two below expectations to this point. He has not exactly lit it up. You watch him, though, Charlie, when he runs the bases in the field, he does everything right. It's just a matter of his hitting numbers improving or developing. But everything else, he's just high IQ, takes a base, never misses a play, turns, just everything is flawless minus, the hitting numbers. So I haven't seen, his younger brother enough to know what his potential is and things like that. But, Anderson didn't hurt himself at all. That's for damn sure. And he throws a number of pitches, and he's never afraid to throw any of the pitches at any time. And that's something that, the Coastal coach, even though he was as cranky as can be, he still made a point to say, no, when you can throw all those pitches at any time, it makes it tough.
When we'll see what Washington decides to do if they decide to pass on him for the younger prospect. He's not going to be sitting there very long. He'll go in the next pick or two. Just as dominant a performance as you could possibly ask for out of your ace.
All right, everybody wants to throw the comparisons to Skeens, which he's so much different.
Yeah.
Okay, first, one's a righty, one's a left, but completely different styles of stuff. But who is his comp? Is he a Tom Glavine?
We talked about that. You
is
and
he
I
a Cliff Lee?
Lee threw harder than Glavine a little bit. Glavine was not a hard thrower. When Glavine came up, he was a 92
He's a sinker
guy.
ball pitcher.
Yeah.
So, when he overthrew is when he would get – and it was funny, when he was more amped up in the first inning is by far his toughest inning.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Quick overthrow.
velocity is a little bit up from, Glavine came up in the late 80s, so, everybody's throwing a little bit harder now. So, but that's a good Glavine was also a really good athlete. He's a hockey player.
Yes.
This kid is a really good athlete.
Robbie Ray, I'm trying to think. You got to go lefties because he's got that classic lefty stuff.
Yeah.
That
command is going to get him to the big leagues, I would say, inside of probably by the middle of next season. I would say he'll get a call up. I would think if this goes.
Who's got the second pick?
Who does have the second pick? I got to look that up. I don't know. I should know that, but I don't.
Max will look it up.
Yeah. So he's going to go early. I think Anthony Ianson also rocketed up the draft boards from where he was in, say, the middle of April. His second half of the season was phenomenal. I think you're probably looking at. I've seen mocks with him in the 30s somewhere.
Yeah, late first.
Late first
into
the compensatory round. He'll go there. So both of those guys, when you think about it like that, how many times has LSU had, 2 first-round picks on the same team? You think about, some of these great combinations that have won national titles. And
where did Coleman go?
Coleman went like in the 3rd or 4th. Okay.
Well, that's Johnson. Johnson's going to get the. He is going to get the big ones, bro. And he's going to. And it's also, part of the NIL era, or player pay era, because, man, you could give me a little money. You give me a little money, man. Life playing at LSU is such a higher quality of living than it is when those bus rides in the minors, man. It's not close. So
by a lot.
Coleman went in the 5th round. The first 3 picks this year: Nationals, Angels, Mariners.
Okay.
Hey, Angels going. They're definitely going pitching.
Yeah. It'll be him, Doyle, and Arnold will be, I think, the top 3 pitchers off the board.
Their young star from a national championship team last year is just brought up. The second baseman from Tennessee. Is it Moore?
Yeah.
So he was playing against the Astros this weekend.
You were talking about he's going to go get him. If we know anything about Johnson, he probably will spend most of the flight home today, working his list.
Oh, you think he's working? Is he hustling? Really?
He might have took 6 hours off after the game yesterday to celebrate, and he's right back at it. I don't know that the program has ever been in any better shape than it is right now. You have a young coach who is at the top of his game, who's done something historical now with multiple national titles at the age of 48. The NIL money seems to be in line. We don't have exact figures, but they're there. You're in the best conference. You have the highest attendance for 30 years running now. What else? And you have star power. Okay, you had the first pick in the draft 2 years ago. You may have the first or second and the second pick. You're going to have one of the top at least 2 or 3 picks, if not the first pick again.
He reestablished LSU as the clear best, the premier brand in college baseball. And when you look at what's the best brands in college sports, Alabama ain't, they're back to the pack a little bit right now in football. Kentucky, kind of back to the pack a little bit. So they're surviving. But the other thing, Charlie, when you got a guy that embraces the aspects of recruiting, that has all the resources.
Yeah,
it's something, and not only that, but you got a legend who's hovering around the program. Is he a distraction? No. Johnson embraces him, and so what happens there? So Skip's booster support.
Yeah,
and we know you got some heavy hitters there. Well, man, Skip likes him. No, we're going. So he embraces it, so he capitalizes on there. And the other thing, would Skip come in at the perfect time, would help Tim kind of spark the interest. LSU's other main sports were down. And I'm sorry, we're down in football right now. We're going to Texas Bowl or playing Purdue in a bowl game. that ain't where you're not living up to expectations.
That's not what
In the
you're playing for.
basketball, for damn sure.
No, you're.
I mean, so this is what we got to pull for right now. You know, the women's basketball has been really good. Now, she's a stud. She's an all-timer. She's a Hall of Famer. But the baseball has hit a little bit of a soft spot again with the high interest the sports.
If you're a top prospect now, I don't know where else you would rather go. You certainly are not going to have. You're not going to be able to outbid everybody on every player, but you'll get the ones that you get the ones that you need. I don't know that they have. This is as good as you can.
Where was
right
Anderson and Ianson preseason on there? Because also you got to give. Can I go there and develop my skills?
Right. When Anderson came here, we were talking about this on Saturday. He played his senior year, but he didn't pitch his senior year in high school. Had he pitched his senior year in high school, would he have been a high enough pick to go? I don't know. Maybe. Ianson was a terrific-looking prospect that played for the national team, and they badly wanted him. The question was it going to translate into the Southeastern Conference? Well, you look at the splits, the first five and the second five. He figured it out. He wasn't bad in the first half, but he was dominant in the second half.
Yeah,
he was. That's what I'm saying. He was developing.
You're saying why would you not, as a top prospect or a big time player, an impact guy, potential, not just a college player, but also a pro prospect? Why would you not? Part of you want to be developed, and LSU's got the resources, and they do it. But where was Skeens do if he stayed at Air Force? I mean, it's not. I think he's got the tools no matter where he was, but it doesn't hurt that he skyrocketed into what he was being so major league ready when he left here. So you are the most resource rich program in college baseball. It's not close. And Tennessee was kind of trying to get in there a little bit. Well, but no, this one really 8-1. Yeah.
Tennessee went on a spending spree this weekend. They're coming back.
They're not going to go down quietly. No.
And you're going to keep, at least for the moment, it looks like you're going to keep your entire staff together. We thought that the Duke job for Josh Jordan would be in play. They named their coach late last week. So now it looks like you're going to keep the staff intact as well. So everything's about as good as it can be right now in Tiger Town.
No, and what does that say about how the biggest brands in the other sports, it's hard to stay on top. And with 2 and 4 years, I don't care which. I mean, that's
hard to do.
That's yes,
very hard.
And he is hard to not like / respect. And he's just going. You're not going to distract him from his work ethic. He is going out. I mean, and something about like a guy like Nick Saban. I mean, that's fine. Everybody works from Alabama to ULM football has a heavy workload in the season. But in the off season, he's still demanding that type of hours. And because he's going to work that many hours himself. With Johnson, it's easy for him to demand of his staff when he's not asking anything he's not doing himself.
That's right.
That's respect.
And there's a lot of this job is different than a lot of other jobs in the SEC because the constraints on the demands on your time. We lead the league in media by 4 city blocks. The interest here is greater than it is anywhere else. I mean, the coaches committee stuff, the fundraising that he does. There's a lot of demands. He handles it all well. You never hear about any of these kids getting in any kind of trouble. He handles the media well. I mean, he's not the storyteller that Bertman is, but nobody is. He's terrific with the media. He's very cordial. Man, look, this is about as good a job as you can do, period.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. We're doing Chad Reynolds over there. Celebrating 23 years of doing it at Legacy Title. So how about 23 Jello shots from Rocco's? Way to go, Chad. There's great
I think they won that too, right?
Yes. We squeaked by off the Jello championship again. So Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Big Mike's in Denham Springs. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today, and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency. Lower your monthly bills and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Sometimes it's so hard to find someone to do home repair, odd jobs due to storm damage, or just regular wear and tear over time to your home. Do like I did and call Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition. Roofing, flooring, debris removal, electric, sheetrock, painting, and much more. Pretty much whatever home maintenance you need, Clean Sweep can handle it. Call Pat Green at 300-7064 for a free no-obligation estimate. Fully licensed and insured, reasonably priced, and for over 20 years in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition, 300-7064.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Thomas Kane Band coming here this Friday night, part of the live music shows here at Big Mike's. We're also brought to you today by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. 3 different locations, Airline, Plank Road, and Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for us over the years. So if you got back pain, muscle soreness, neck pain, things that are keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like, or an old injury that's flaring up, let them help you out. Then get you into a program that will target your problem areas and get you to feeling better. whether it takes a dry needle, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, ultrasound therapy. They'll find out exactly what's going to work, and it will get you to feeling better. I know because they've certainly done it for us. Again, Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. The team has left Omaha. They will get back to Baton Rouge a little bit after 2. The team buses arrive at Alex Box Stadium at 3 o'clock, and the national championship celebration has been set for 7 o'clock on Wednesday night at the box, if you're wondering about those opportunities to see the team. Now, I got to do this because I want your opinion on it and because it's been bugging me. We got to talk about the hit-by-pitch rule. Because the way this thing was enforced in the World Series as opposed to – look, I'm not going to tell you I saw every at-bat of every LSU game this year. I saw most of them, but I didn't see every single one. And I watched a lot of SEC baseball besides that. And I didn't see this called the way it was called 4 different times in the World Series on the hit-by-pitch. Now – I really can't understand how you're going to penalize a kid, which what they did to Dickinson, for shielding himself, and your natural thing is for your elbow to drop, okay? He's not leaning into the pitch. He's not leaning over the plate. His elbow just naturally drops as he turns, okay? The intent of this rule, as I understand it, okay, is you don't want guys leaning over the plate. You especially don't want guys leaning over the plate if they got this protective armor on their elbows and stuff like that because, okay, well, now that's an unfair advantage. But, Jimmy, you've now taken this and you have completely, I think, gone against the spirit of the rule, the intent of the rule, and I'm not really interested in listening to, well, by the letter of the law. Man, go fertilize the lawn with that crap. You got to be able to turn and protect yourself a little bit while you're still in the batter's box. And if the ball hits you in college baseball, it's not up to you to be diving out of there and, having to bail a pitcher out. So you get to Sunday's game, and Dooley, the kid for Coastal, turns into the pitch. It hits him on the leg. Okay, and I'm like, well, okay, is he turning into it? I didn't think so. But if you're going to call the one the day before, you got to call this one. So I don't think that the rule is being enforced with the intent of the rule. I think this was selective enforcement in the World Series, which I hate. But 15 years ago, they went on a point of emphasis thing with this, and they said, look, anybody that doesn't make an honest attempt to get out of the way is going to be called for a strike.
Charlie's going to calm down, but we saw that this was coming, and it was going to be a point of emphasis, and it was Coastal's numbers that you don't have those type of numbers unless you're coaching it and practicing it, and so they brought it to the point of emphasis, and then once we saw the first couple of times, no, it was being over. It was being overemphasized. It was being overcalled. Yes. And so, and then we were actually sitting together and saying, what happens if it's just so inside, but you still like kind of move toward it? But, man, when you're taking a pitch high toward close to your face and stuff, or high shoulder, you get a pass, man.
Yes.
On if you happen to move to it. I mean, you are bailing out. It's crazy. But when I'm watching the replay, I'm like, they might rule it this way.
No, we both had it. They're going to call this on,
yes,
and you're rewarding the pitcher for doing
this.
And
but Charlie, stay consistent. A letter of the law. We don't want to hear it with the hit by pitch, intentional hit by pitch. But then we want to go to letter of the law on each argument balls and strikes. So let's stay consistent. Both were bad.
Yeah.
Both were bad. Both were way more than they've done all season long. I mean, we're not tossing guys in the first inning, and we're not doing this. And then the bottom line is the umpiring is just sketchy, man. Strike zones are different. I mean, enforcements are different, and it can be rough, man, and at the college, at the college level. But this is it's going to die down. They're not going to. Nobody wants this. The
Well,
coaches will have their input.
We never saw it all year. We never
Exactly.
saw it enforced like this. Again, 15 years ago when they did this, they realized at the end of the season just how ridiculous it had gotten. And I remember it very well.
But how
because
many times during the course of the season did Coastal lean into one where they got
to get hit 180 times? I'm sure
a big chunk. Okay, so that's one. But don't flip to completely to the other side.
Yeah.
And but you're asking. So we're going to do something. We're going to enforce something differently that we haven't done all year on the biggest stage. It's just
And again, it worked against other teams besides LSU.
And
I didn't care for it.
everyone that was reviewed was intentional, ruled intentional, and one or two may have been, and the two are like no, but they were looking for, and you can't when you umpire one of a fundamental flaw. Something that you see common, like, why did you make that call? How does he make that call right? How does he anticipate? So he's anticipating something, and so you're looking for something instead of letting it happen and then calling it. And this was a classic case where they're looking for it. They're looking for, oh, yeah, he did. Well, yes, the ball is coming at his head.
Yes.
I mean, you get a pass. This is not, I'm leaning in a little bit where it's, I'm really close to being on the plate myself, and it's kind of on that chalk line, maybe at the back. This is so far in the box. And that's what Johnson said. It's so far in the box. I mean, like, yes. And
the rule is to prohibit.
It'll calm down, though, don't you think?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
I would think so. I don't want them sticking that plastic or that brace into the strike zone. Okay, that's kind of the intent of the rule, is to prevent that, which it should. Not what we saw. Max, you look considerably less cheeky today. You got over your wisdom teeth. So, what did you think?
I agree on the inconsistencies. I mean, we spent all the last 2 weeks complaining about how much different the ballpark plays in the College World Series than the regular season. So why would we want a rule being enforced differently in the postseason than the regular season? That doesn't make sense. So I think we're consistent there. And like, hey, can we have the postseason mimic the regular season, with the exception of maybe a title game not throwing out the opposing coach? You could lip read a lot of what he said. Toward the end, he complained that he missed 3 calls. The home plate umpire definitely had a high zone. The high breaking balls were being called strikes.
And called it to the letters, yeah.
But he was consistent, at least on that end. He called that the entire game.
How do you know what he's consistent on with one inning? I mean,
exactly.
How do you know? I mean,
two things can be right. The umpire had a quick hook, way too quick for that instance, and Coastal's coach.
He jeopardized it, putting his team in a bad position.
Put his team in that
position. Coastal coach was wrong, and then the umpire trumped him. So, oh yeah, really? You got 2 pair. I got a royal. I mean, so it just can't be the. It can't be that. And look, we could talk about the change in the dimensions of the park too and stuff like that, because it's a big commitment by the by the school. Hey, look, how about my boy Dana Brown? The last 2 weeks I've gone over to Dana Brown. I had to get some stuff notarized, had to get some stuff power of attorney stuff and things like that. I just like going to visit Dana Brown, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes. You know why? Because Wes Reynolds gave out Keegan Bradley at 35-40 to 1.
Cha-ching.
Huh? That brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Usually, we get text messages when he's happy on Sunday afternoon.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I just enjoy going to see my man Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. I'm going to have to come up with some reason to go visit him this week as well. So, but Charlie, in all seriousness, Charlie and I have used Dana's team of specialized attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives, and did not hesitate one iota to recommend them to some friends as well. It's all areas of law, from where your car got totaled to a traffic accident. You name it, we'll come and take advantage of that initial consultation, which is free. Downtown Dana Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Went back this morning just over some of the notes we had on one of the podcasts right before the season started and going the key questions that we wanted answered. Would the infield defense be good enough? With Braswell changing positions, with Milam changing positions, with Dickinson coming in, pretty much, having to play second base. Yes, that turned out better than anybody could have expected. With Chase Shores and Jay Newt bounce back from the injuries, well, it got better as the season went along. As they got more and more innings, their command improved. Shores looked like an absolute beast the last month of the season, especially yesterday. Would Anderson be able to be a bona fide number one? Yes. Would Ianson make the transition from San Diego to here? Yes. Chris Stanfield. I kind of looked at that when he transferred over. Said, well, okay, the numbers were okay at Auburn. They weren't fantastic. Stanfield was one of their best hitters in Southeastern Conference play. He had a big hit yesterday. And then, what would you get out of your freshman? Curiel could not have been any better. Cooper Williams came on late in the season and was a key piece from the left side. And the other thing was this team stayed remarkably healthy. Okay, they were in great condition, and you get a little bit of good fortune too. They lost Gavin Guidry for the year, but other than that, they able to steer around any of their key pieces missing a lot of time.
Yeah, arms.
Yeah. None of those guys ever had to miss any time. So
I would just say one other question we had. Maybe a lack of power coming in the year compared to LSU normally. They still hit plenty of home runs, and it didn't affect them. They still had offense despite that.
They didn't have the offensive mashers that they've had in some of the previous championship years, but they hit enough. They were certainly good enough. And like I said, outside of Guidry, they were very healthy. Dickinson, we found out after the game, this guy was at the top of the order most of the season. He's been hitting in the 8-hole. He's had a broken hamate bone since the beginning of the tournament. Shades of Warren Morris. So kudos to that kid for gutting it out and coming up with some really nice defensive plays yesterday's game. Hour number 2 here at Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins. Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and WorkboxLLC.com.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency. Lower your monthly bills and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Feeling fatigued and lacking your usual zest for life? Low T could be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers testosterone therapy plans starting at $125 a month with no contracts. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Big Mike's here on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. Calling out and see us for lunch. We've got a nice lunch crowd. We're wishing our friend Squeaky best in his new endeavors. He is
he's going away to sea.
He's going to sea.
He's got a sailor outfit on.
Who bought him that?
Look at down the bar.
Yeah,
it's a Stockwell production. Okay, I mean, who did that? Really?
Yeah.
It's 1-9, Charlie.
Right.
It's Mr. Clint. Okay.
Yes.
But having some fun over here.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
At Big Mike's. Yes.
We got Thomas Kane Band coming up.
Ahoy, matey!
This Friday. Yeah. Should have said Chips Ahoy, right? Yeah. So we baseball, dominated it yesterday, but then you had Game 7 last night in the NBA Finals, and kind of a
man
when Halliburton goes down, man.
Didn't it seem like he was? They had a puncher's chance.
Absolutely,
the way he came out.
They were winning at halftime.
They were still ahead.
Even without, but I was worried about the sustainability of that, too.
Yeah, I didn't think it would hold up, but for 17 minutes they held the lead without him on the floor.
Was the Paul Simon say slip slide? Was zigzag in a way,
yeah,
Charlie.
Yeah.
5-1 now in the finals, well over. So OKC loses the game. They cover. And middle, skittle diddle with the last two couple buckets. How about that? So we'll take it. Indiana's not it. Were they not the stars of this postseason, though? Did they not create the most entertainment by far? OKC, look, the youth of them. And it's funny that the damn trade, and the NBA loves to talk about things that are about to happen rather than, really focus on a Game 7. Well, the Durant trade to Houston, and isn't Houston a young team that may be able to develop and be at Oklahoma City? Or are they just so void of a dependable shooter that, no, that's the missing piece for them? So, but anyway, and now they have a lot of youth in Holmgren. If he continues to develop and gets a little bit bigger and stronger, they got the star. SGA is, he's a star. And they seem to have that kind of like I don't know. It's just a good chemistry in the locker room. Doesn't it seem that way? With all the group interviews post-game, that could be a little staged sometimes, but it just seems that they kind of have a good locker room element. Huh?
The whole organization, from Presti on down, and they embrace what has been a torpedo for a lot of the small market. It works there.
Yeah.
They understand how to draft and develop. They're constantly finding value in players that other teams have overlooked. Presti's about as good of an executive as there is in professional sports. I want to say one thing about that Durant trade. This doesn't happen if David Stern's the commissioner, okay? And I certainly don't expect Teflon Adam to have any type of, authority here. But if they would have tried to pull that, making that announcement on the day of Game 7 of the finals, David Stern would have come through the phone and slapped him silly. This is our showcase. This is what we hope we get every year, a Game 7 in the finals. And we got two teams that are going for their first championship in the NBA. The Pacers won ABA championships. But you're going to take the spotlight away from that. You could have waited till tomorrow. Okay, you could have waited till Tuesday. There's no deadline you're trying to beat here. You're going to try to upstage us?
Charlie, I'm I never but I'm willing to pile on any stance or any angle that says it's the commissioner's week. I can tell you that.
The NFL used to have a rule that there were no transactions during Super Bowl week. Okay, that was in the league constitution.
You have to celebrate, man.
Yes.
You have to. It's prime time. Yes, it's a Game 7, first time in 9 years, only the 20th Game 7 in the history of your league.
Yeah,
and it's just, and you have that do or die element. It's one game. Okay, we're not giving Indiana a ton of respect. Well, damn it, it's one game. Anybody can beat anybody in this league in one game. And what happens if Halliburton isn't hurt?
I think Oklahoma City.
I know this away.
I think Oklahoma City wins a close game, which is what I thought when I woke up yesterday, that Oklahoma City would win a close game. I don't know if they would have covered. I thought they would have found a way to win a very close game at the end. That's my best guess.
I still think so. Not a whole lot changed from my opinion. I kind of thought OKC would pull away late. That's what happened. Obviously, Halliburton, different game. But Halliburton's not the best defensive player ever. So, some of the success that the Thunder had offensively were great. But, yeah, Jalen Williams, SGA, I don't know if you saw their interviews with SVP after. Like, they do seem like a tight-knit group. They were great interviews. Jalen Williams talking about how he had to watch highlights of himself just to get his confidence, after some tough games in this playoffs. So, like, this just genuine guys. And Sam Presti, I don't think anything can be said enough about the job he's done. Super analytical, has all these draft picks, has them positioned to win multiple championships, not just one, because of, the way they're set up money-wise, the draft picks, the capital they have going forward. But even a low-key move, just keeping their players without bringing in a big title. A lot of people thought they needed to bring in one big name this year, and they didn't do that. They traded for Alex Caruso. They got rid of Josh Giddey, a younger player, and brought in Alex Caruso, who was a big part of this team this year. Just kept it small, tight, and I think that's a big reason why they ended up winning.
But you guys are something. It just never changes. It never changes. Oh, yeah, OKC's going to win. OKC's going to win. The guy played 7 minutes.
Yes,
the guy played 7 minutes. Like a matter of fact, yes, sir. 7 minutes. He led the game, both teams, in three-pointers made.
Was that sustainable?
I don't know, but it took him 7 minutes to outshoot everybody else on the damn floor.
It was his
so you don't think
quarter.
He had a chance to? Have we seen guys get hot for a night? Really hot? Huh? You don't think he would have required a little bit more defensive attention? This had a chance.
Sure.
This had a chance.
Sure. This
had a chance.
Did we say he didn't have a chance?
I'm not saying
You asked me what I thought was going to happen. I answered honestly.
No, not really a chance. No,
he was 3 or 4 from 3.
Nothing was going to be different. They were going to pull away they did.
No, I said I thought they would have won a close game. Those were my exact
He was on, Jack.
He's
great. He's a great player.
Yeah. He hasn't been a great player every game, Charlie.
No,
that's the big thing. He will throw in some clunkers here. But this was maybe the night where, man, we talk about the stage. How do guys lift their game and how do guys go in a funk? He sure looked. He's 3 for his first 4 in 7 minutes. That nobody made three-pointers the whole game. That's a chance. That's who you got a guy that's that hot, man. I mean, I don't know. It would. I thought I wish it would have been at full strength. You know, because I mean, I want to. It's a little bit of like that's a big factor in the game last night. That this guy was the best player on the floor for 7 minutes, and then he's gone. And they're the dog. They're on the road. They need every piece. They need him to be a Miles Simon, or Miles Turner rather, and he looked like he was going to have one of those nights, and it just nope, he's not in. He's not available.
It was a complete buzzkill because at that point I didn't stop watching the game, but I was no longer like as focused on it. Because I didn't think that without him they were going to be able to hang. I watched the rest of the game, but
who gave him his treatment? Kevin Durant?
Well, so I was thinking, if the Pacers and Halliburton could do it all over again, I'm sure they'd play him, right? But this is 2 games after a strained calf. We've seen this multiple times now, where a strained calf becomes a torn Achilles.
We know he was compromised. We know that, but he's going to. My favorite, and he's the best insider they have. He said, no, if this was the regular season, Halliburton wouldn't play.
Yes.
I need an insider to tell me that. They don't play if they want to go out the night before in Miami.
I mean, I will say, to his credit, Kendrick Perkins, and I don't give him credit on almost anything, when Game 5, when he strained his calf, said he should not play again. They need to save him from himself. And now they're going to be without him all of next year.
Is it torn? Is that confirmed?
I mean, you saw it pop.
Yeah,
we know.
It looked like, man, this is two –
Tatum and
Halliburton. No, they're going to miss the whole season. Talk about shake up the odds in the East.
The Magic. Watch out for them. I mean,
and that's why. There's no doubt. I mean, it's so when you look at the future odds and you see some of these, the Pacers, they were like third choice. Now what are they? Without Halliburton,
they fell to like 40, 50 to 1 to win the title next year.
They were third choice. What's Boston? I mean, Boston, if he's healthy, they're the favorite, but he's not available. So,
next year to win the conference, the favorites. The DraftKings
the Knicks have the Knicks have some momentum. Tibbs is back, and they can make their run. He's not. I'm sorry.
They're like on number 16 of teams turning them down for interview their coach. They're working their way through the list.
They still don't have a coach.
No.
Yeah, it's still not.
Silver put his foot down. He was not going to let the number 1 media market team make a change during the playoffs.
They got 16 down, 13 to go.
Stephen A. would have been talking about it in Game 7. Cavs are slight favorites to win the East next year over the Knicks. Cavs are plus 255, followed by the Magic and the Celtics. The Pacers are co-fifth choice with the Sixers.
Well, they were third choice to win the whole thing before this injury. So what are they now, like 10th? 11th?
They are, wow, they're ways down there. Pacers.
Wow.
I'll 35 to 1.
They think he's out for the year.
Choice.
They think they had a chance to have a good game last night. Not you two, I understand, but that's all right.
I didn't say they weren't going to win.
Game 4. Game 4.
I'm just
Game
guessing.
4. Does Game 4? Do they finish it if they hold on to Game 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do.
They blew it in Game 4. Yeah.
Wes must have called him all upset.
Wes Reynolds is not happy about the Kevin Durant trade. He is not happy.
He's got a point.
Listen, man, we have talked more Indiana sports, with homeboy being on TV every day with ESPN. He's going to talk about, Indianapolis stuff. So, no, Indianapolis got enough damn shine. We don't need to talk about Indianapolis anymore. So.
We'll talk to him on Wednesday.
He's not going to be happy.
No, I'm sure he's not.
And now your boy is out, and they're going from, is it 12th, 10th, 12th, you said? To win
12th choice.
12th,
right now.
third to 12th. Ouch.
Yikes.
What's Boston win it all?
Because
with healthy Tatum, they would have still been a favorite.
Yeah.
With a healthy Tatum.
Celtics are 19-1. That's 8th.
From first to 8th. Oh, my God.
Thanks. We're brought to you by the Thibodaux Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. Man, look, you're making any repairs, improvements on your property. Thibodaux Store is the place to go, not just because they got terrific prices and a huge inventory and power tools, hand tools, and all the supplies that you could need, but also that service that they're going to be able to help you out if you're doing it yourself and you're not really sure how to proceed. Let them help you out. They save you some time, save you some money with any of your home improvement projects. You need paint, you need lumber, all of those taken care of. Outdoor patio furniture on special right now on the website, thethibodeaustore.com. Huge selection of grills, griddles, jambalaya pots, crawfish pots, big green egg cookers with all the accessories down at the Thibodeau store, their sister property, the Pierre Part store. Again, online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. They're located 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Crowstead, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Crowstead exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or during it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And today's show also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, you know what? No two situations are just alike. So let Phil Fontenot and his staff talk to you about your future plans. No matter where you are in life, no matter what your income level is, no matter where your age is, you can put a plan together that will help you reach your financial goals. CoastalCapitalADV.com is the website. Member FINRA, SIPC. Official now, Tyrese Halliburton does have a torn Achilles, as we speculated about before the break. So that will put him out likely all of next season.
They do it again, though, right, Charlie?
What?
You play him Game 6 and Game 7. You got a title to win. I mean, I know Halliburton. He's going to play if he can.
How compromised was he because of the calf injury? Did it put him in danger of tearing his Achilles?
This is what they say.
I think so.
The same thing happened with Durant. He had strained his calf before. We had a calf injury or an ankle injury, I think, with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
He was on a bad leg.
If you're asking me if it put him at a severely compromised position to tear his Achilles to miss all of next season, and look, he will probably come back the following year, and he will probably still be an outstanding player. Maybe, but let's not act like this is a dislocated shoulder. An Achilles injury puts you on the shelf for a year. It may be 2 years before he's back to what he was before this
might
injury.
Not be the same.
Yeah, he may never be the same. I mean, they've come a long way with this stuff, and I know Kobe came back from it in a little less than a year, but that was Kobe. No, I wouldn't jeopardize at least 1, maybe 2 years, and potentially all of his future for a couple of games. Now, did they know he was going to tear his Achilles? Of course not.
Did Klay Thompson tear his Achilles in that series against Toronto, too? He was hurt.
He was
hurt already.
That's right.
So he was compromised.
He was, and he missed an entire year out of that.
There's been medical people who say if you have a strained calf, it can lead to a torn Achilles if you try to play
I think
through
we've just mentioned enough evidence that he was. But it's. I guess how are you going to tell a guy, man? You got to say, okay. And listen, and was he until he hurt it worse? Was he not playing at a high level? Wasn't like he was limping out there. He was the best player in the court.
Right, and it's hard to tell a guy you how many Game 7s are you going to have in your career in the finals? One.
I know. I mean,
I think the question, like if SGA strains his calf in Game 4 next year, if you're OKC, do you play him or no?
I mean,
you got to trust your doctors. If they tell you he's cleared to play, then he's going to want to play.
Game 4 of the finals?
Game 4. I mean, this was Game 5, but there might not be Game 7. So let's say it's Game 4, he breaks it or strains his calf, and then they're tied 2-2. Are you letting him play Game 5?
They might not. I mean, do you know the risk?
There's real risk.
Has there been players played with strained calf that didn't tear their Achilles?
I'm sure they
gotten away with it.
Sure.
Okay,
but normally they don't play right away. No, it's only reserved for extreme circumstances like in the postseason.
No, I mean there is added risk, yes, but can you get away with it? I'm sure some guys have, and he didn't. I mean, but in the finals, it's not an easy decision, and I'm sure Halliburton understood the risk.
Yeah,
he wanted to play. He doesn't know if he's going to get that
absolutely.
chance again.
You go ask him, he'd say, "I'd do it again."
Yeah.
I'd be out there for my guys and a chance to win the championship. Yeah, I'm sure he would.
I mean, could he have gotten through this thing with that strained calf and not, had maybe? But yes, is he more at risk? That's absolutely. Absolutely.
I watched 0 of the golf yesterday.
Oh, it was good, Charlie.
There was a baseball game on I was paying attention to. So
you got more than one TV at the Queen.
I do.
So,
I understand.
So,
I was focused yesterday on the baseball game.
It was good, and they actually when the baseball game was over, they turned the sound on the golf. It was that good. No puddles. No guys with bow and arrows trying to shoot guys for added defense. I mean, there's actually golf. They were able to make shots and miss shots and pressure.
15 under par wins it. Somewhere Scott Rabelais weeps.
But you see, my buddy also informed me, Fleetwood's won. It's just on the European tour.
Right, he's won 8 times.
I mean, he's won 8
Never
times.
Won
but how many?
Well, Max is the one that called him a loser.
Is it 20, 30, or 40 top 10s?
43 top 10s.
Oh, Charlie.
Wow.
And he is minus 700 going to 18. Now, first of all, he was shaky to begin with. He was, because his lead was 3 or 4
3 to start the day.
And he bogeyed the first 2 out of 3 holes, something like that.
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4.
He had a birdie mixed in, but
and so he was 1 over going to 18 for the round. Anyway. So he was kind of leaking oil, trying to get to the finish line.
It wasn't pretty. You knew if he was going to win, he was still a heavy favorite, but it wasn't going to be pretty the way he closed it out.
And so his drive on 18 is perfect.
It's the hardest shot on that hole, yeah.
And he puts it way to the left, kind of on the fringe, which
Short.
should have been a 2-putt.
He was indecisive. He clubbed down. He was between a 9-iron and a pitching wedge. Ended up trying to go with the pitching wedge, I think, because of adrenaline and also the wind kind of swirling.
Didn't commit
Hits
to the
it short.
shot, Jimmy.
Well, he was committed, but it just didn't have enough
And
club.
Keegan Bradley, who's a crowd favorite.
He's from New England,
Well,
hometown sort of guy.
it's not just because this is in New England too. Okay,
Well, he won it 2 years ago, and he had a huge.
He's got
following then,
he's
too.
had some history there. It's kind of a home in kind of a home course, but the thing that's pushed him over the top is he's Captain America now. He's captain of the Ryder team. But now he's one of the top 12 golfers, clearly in the American. But does he step aside? And so that's a whole other thing. But he put it how far from the hole?
6 feet or so.
I think it was 5 feet 6 inches. I think it was. And then where does Fleetwood put his putt, Charlie? About a foot or two behind him, so he gets a free read on the break.
Some weak putts down the stretch from Tommy Fleetwood and Russell Henley, by the way, but who I had did not have Wes's pick in Bradley. But yeah, just way too weak of a putt. You got to get it closer. That's the putt that lost him the tournament. I know the last one he missed a 6-footer, gave Bradley the line a little bit. It bounced a little bit. Maybe he was unlucky, but you got to put it closer to make par and at least force a playoff.
And Charlie Henley, Max's pick, what was his odds pre-tournament?
35-1, I believe, 40-1.
He finished 1 stroke back. He forfeited a stroke voluntarily on a rule enforcement on himself on Saturday.
It's a gentleman's game. He's supposed to do that. What was the rule?
Max, you feel very gentlemanly?
I don't feel great. It was 40-1.
This really tests how much of a purist you are with this golf when you lose a damn 35-1 shot because a guy.
It sucks for me, but he should do it. He saw the ball move in the rough. He said he moved about a dimple. He said he was sure of it. It definitely moved when he hit it. And so nobody was going to see it. It's in the rough. There was no camera on it. He wasn't going to get called out for it. But the integrity of the game, he called it out, and good on him.
Wasn't his son following him?
He said that was a big part of the reason he wanted to show, his son that, this is part of the game. You own up to it.
But his kids are baggage.
Yeah.
That's first class. If he's trying to teach his kid to do the right thing, that's
lost by
first
one.
class.
It sucks for me and everyone
it's
who
a
bet
$2 million
him,
dimple.
Yeah.
That's the difference between first and second, just under $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
First, tied for second.
Yeah.
Look, he didn't putt well enough down the stretch. He 3-putted, I think, on 16. So there were some chances that he would have had. He could have been right there at least.
But the storyline of Fleetwood not being able to close in a PGA event, it was there. So you had some storylines, and you had some shot making. You had some pressure. It was good. It was really good.
The ability to possibly see a choke job is great theater. As sad as I was, because Fleetwood's a great guy. Everyone loves him. Like most fans, golf fans, I don't know anybody who roots against Tommy Fleetwood. But it created drama because you knew that was always a chance. And at this point, this is the closest he got this year. He's had a lot of top 10 finishes. He's been a good player this year, but never really been in contention this year. This was his real shot. And unfortunately, it's a little bit like Rory at majors for a long time. You just don't believe he's going to do it until he finally does it.
Is he on the Ryder Cup, you think, for
yes, no doubt.
And he has been before?
Yes.
So he's one of their top. I mean,
it was
he's got
US
everything.
Against Europe. Like,
it's obviously in his head now,
Absolutely.
to close. I mean
he
wow.
mentioned, he just wants to put himself in position enough times, but it's definitely in his head. And he was animated. He even said, like, he doesn't really talk so much about this. He said, yeah, I'm angry. I'm pissed off right now at the way that finished. But at least he talked. Rory would have skipped. Rory would have
last elevated event?
That was the last one.
Why one the next week after a major? Why not space it out a little bit?
That's the players being They want to just have it sort of grouped together where they can all charter from the U.S. Open to the next signature event. That's the top players in the world. They apparently asked for that. It's not doesn't really make sense. You would like a breather as a fan, coming off a big event to have a little breather in between the next signature event. But the players want to just be able to jet off to their next event and maybe take 2 weeks off. So that's just what the top
They don't want to fly
wanted.
C group on Southwest. Is that what you're telling me?
They've all got their PJs, you know that. But
So, middle seat in the back.
Don't forget our friends over at Los Reyes Mexican Grill. My little stop on the way home from the Queen on the weekends, man. Yes, indeed. You can do taco salads, enchiladas, tamales. We got quesadillas. I mean, the burritos, you name it. Their homemade guacamole is excellent. And one of Fadinki's favorite, the gyro tacos over at Los Reyes. That's kind of a house specialty. So you name it, man. Happy hour is 4 hours a day, 2:30 to 6:30 every day a week, 7 days a week over at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson's.
Live here at Big Mike's Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in Los Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, 4 cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozy Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's. The LSU baseball team is on their way back from Omaha. They are in flight. Land a little after 2:15 this afternoon, and then they will be at the box at 3 o'clock if you're heading over there. The celebration on Wednesday night will be at 7 o'clock at the box. So if you want to head out, that's a good time on Wednesday. Cokie Riley from The Advocate was talking to Jay Johnson this morning about what he did in the hours after win the championship. And they had a brief team meeting, and then they celebrated for a while. And then he said he went to sleep around 1 a.m., but he was texting with recruits and kids in the transfer portal. Jimmy asked me this in the break, and I just seen the story that Cokie posted, which was Johnson told him last night that they have lost players this week, in the last week, because they were not able to host them on visits. He said
Tennessee, the Tennessee. Nick Saban used to talk about it in football. Man, I'm missing out on the recruiting, having to extend my season as long as it is.
Now, tell me what you think of this. He says one player texted him after game one to tell Johnson that he wasn't going to visit LSU on Thursday and be going to another school instead. Okay, my thought is, if I'm a baseball player and I'm in the transfer portal and I have an offer from LSU, I can wait from Saturday to Thursday to go and take that visit. Do you think that means that he's got an offer from somewhere else that may be pulled by that time? An NIL offer that said, look, man, here's the money, take it, or we got to move down the road. If you're, we can't wait on you a week. I'm sure the other schools have turned that pressure up.
You can roll that risk. You can try and play that card, but that's you say, let's just say that's Texas, okay.
Okay.
And they, we're going to pull it. I mean, they know that LSU's playing. They know that the kid is considering LSU, and they want to, but they also could hurt their chances. Like, wait, man, you can't. I have a visit scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to, make my decision at that point. You can't wait for that. I'm sorry, you can't wait for me that long. I'm going to move on. So you could do that. You could run the risk of that. But I mean, that's kind of the poker of recruiting, Charlie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the cost of doing business. You take it every time.
But
hey, look, sorry, we're in Omaha.
Being able to talk to you or being whatever, or watch my program showcased on the national stage.
Yeah,
I mean that's got to be more of you would think, a recruiting tool than just. Yeah, I'll see you 4 days later or 5 days later.
I think that it's a huge recruiting tool, and maybe the timing of it for this class, it may cost you a couple of kids. Bummer. They got kids in July last year, key kids in July. So it's not like all of this has got to be done by the end of the week, and they should be really strong again next year.
But it seems like it was just a little bit the national championship team, and then a little dip. The roster wasn't as good as this year or the two championship years. Tennessee had a little dip this year, after a national championship. So I'm just I'm just connecting the dots and asking you, who follows it closer, if that's kind of where it is. It's kind of you kind of need a little bit of a dip if you're going to be your season extended all the way through, late June.
Yeah, it'll cost you some kids. So. How do you replace them now? The draft's, not that far off. There's a couple of kids that I think, probably going to have a decision to make. At the top of my list is Ethan Fry. Fry had a good year. He slumped a little bit late, but will he be drafted high enough to go, or does he want to come back and be the focal, one of the big focal points of the offense next year? He probably slots into the 3 hole, probably plays first base, or maybe he's in the outfield. I don't know, but he would certainly be one of the biggest power bats that you would have coming back. Or is he going to get drafted too high, and is he going to go?
What was LSU preseason this year?
Like 3, I believe, 2 or 3. And then they were 1 in at least one of the polls.
6 national seed.
I think there were 2 on the one.
Yeah, they were like 1, 2, or 3. And there's like 6 polls now.
A&M was
preseason number 1 in most of the polls, I think. Yeah, and then they were the national 6th seed. Why you?
I'm just. Was this the best roster? Was this the best team, or there was a? The
thing about it was they had everybody on that team with the exception of Gavin Guidry healthy the whole year. Was Texas's roster better when Jared Spencer was at the top of the rotation? Well, it was certainly playing like
they were winning
when he left.
Those one-run games, and you lose your ace. Think about if LSU loses Anderson.
Yeah.
It's
Arkansas lost Gage Wood for 2 months. What if they had lost Ianson for 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to avoid those really devastating injuries.
He was ready, but he was ready and available at the right time, and he certainly. Anderson was the best pitcher in the country, the most dependable pitcher in the country. That's why he was an all-tournament team. He's their MVP, if you want to give it to, whether it's position or he was the most impactful player on this team, and he had no room for error on a night where he didn't have his best stuff. And he just, if Arkansas doesn't botch a routine 4-3 play, walk the tie and run, drop the ball in left field, not go to third. Well, guess what? They don't have Anderson. So here's hypothetical. You don't have Anderson. You saw what Coastal had. You see what LSU, what would have happened. We're playing tonight?
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah, probably. Oh, by the way, the weather forecast today, they were going to have to move this game to the day. They were going to have to move this game to the day today.
No, just go play in Pittsburgh on the golf course in the puddles. Why you got to move it?
Grind it out. If you
We
get
don't want to
stuck on
move
electricity,
anything.
you just got to replace him. Next guy. Sorry.
But for you to go through a championship series, Evans is as good as anybody pretty much lately, huh? The son of a gun struck out 9 in a row.
If they'd had to bring
you didn't have to get one pitch from him?
No. You bring Anderson back to start on Thursday, and Ianson finishes Wednesday night's game, then Evans is going to start Saturday, and, probably Jaden Newt on Sunday, if I had to guess, and then try to bring back Cowan in game 3. No, it would have severely put them in a bind. And Case and Evans, you're right, is so good. That's why just looking ahead to next year, what I say is every year you got to have a Friday guy. If you can't win a championship without a Friday guy, well, he's my pick right now to be the Friday guy.
When did they pull Morrison yesterday?
3 2/3.
Was that much? He was in a fourth?
3 2/3 innings, and he had 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. 63 pitches.
Still managed to go under. So 1 game over 500 for the tournament. 7-6-1 to the under with the two games on Saturday and Sunday going under. So it remains. It's never been. It's the best the overs have done with 500. The overs have never had a winning College World Series downtown.
Just one point of clarification on that. It opened at 8.5. It actually closed in a lot of books at 7.5. So for some people,
really?
Went over.
Ooh, wow.
You could have actually middled it if you wanted pre-game, but it closed 7.5 in a lot of books. So might have been the over depending on what you had.
And you think the wind carried that first home run out?
It helps.
Coastal?
Yeah.
I don't think it carried it out as much.
I don't think it goes out if the wind's not blowing.
I think it's going to left center, and it ends up carrying it to a shallower part of the park.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
so it was a left center, like at the wall ball that ends up going down the line.
I did a spot on V's, and I talked about the wind conditions. Said no, this is the one spot where you can sneak it out. It might even help it out.
Yeah.
So I don't think if there's no wind, The ball's not getting out.
That's what I think.
Because you got to get you got to get to a deeper part. It's going more to the alley, and we know that. So
let me ask you about another play, because this was one of the more surprising hits of the weekend to me, was Milam's ball off the top of the wall. That's into the teeth of that win.
But he didn't get it up.
Right, it wasn't very high.
And I talked to you about his approach, because he looked to seem like, because he'd hit some key home runs over the course of the season. He had a little bit of an uppercut to his swing, and I'm like, man, that was not his approach in Omaha. He was line drive down, keeping it low. And that's the reason it got that far, because it didn't get up in the air. It was kind of on a line. Yeah, because that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Milam's going to hit into that wind off the wall.
Because I didn't think there'd be a home run hit in any of the games in the championship series, and that almost got out.
Jimmy, sometimes the wind blowing in can help that, right? You're just like, oh, I'm not hitting the ball out today, so I need to start changing.
You talk about help their approach.
Correct.
Oh, I don't think it's just. I just think it's just happened.
Yeah.
Well, but you don't know what these guys are going to do, man. Tack Minor, if he knocked down that first three, baby, he was bombs away. So in mighty Milam, I mean, what was it? Was the Alabama or Arkansas game? We had a big home run. I think it was the Alabama game to start the comeback. I'm not sure, but it was a big one where they were behind and kind of started it. They were like down 4 or 5 runs, and he got them down. So anyway, he would not have had the success if he would have had that same approach with that uppercut to his swing. And Carriol, he's the best player over the course of the season. Most consistent. He's a tools
the
guy.
Best hitter,
yeah, he position player. Yeah. He's just scratching the surface, man. His IQ for such a young player, his plate discipline, doesn't get himself. Doesn't swing at bad pitches. He's and when he hits that ball to the right side, he's going to get down there, and that puts a little bit more pressure, on them in those situations too. But I enjoy watching him play. Very high baseball IQ and style of play.
I was happy for Braswell that he got a hit at the end, but he was contributing even offensively. He had a bunt earlier in the game, and I loved what the fans did. They did this for Josh Thompson when he was struggling back in 17. There had been so much, take him out of line. Monera's like, no, we're going to play him. He's our shortstop. And the fans, they rose to their feet and, tried to encourage him, and he ended up with a couple of hits. Braswell's defense was phenomenal, okay? Some plays that he made look easy that were not easy plays. And Johnson even said it after the game. He says, without Braswell, we're not winning this game 1-0. He made some really
was he overdoing? Was he making sure to stress it because that was a decision he had to make? It wasn't. You can't have a guy in a slump like that at the plate and not consider putting him on the bench. So he went with it. He knew that was a move that he was hoping, and it played out to fruition that But Charlie, they got to have a lot of guys doing some things to maintain. You got to slump it at the plate to keep him in the lineup. You got to have some other guys, carrying the load.
It would have been a harder decision if Reeves had been hitting the backup third baseman. He was 1 for 22.
How about it's a harder decision if the other team's going to score more runs because you don't have as great a pitching. So you're pitching. You can do it when you can allow to have an emphasis on fielding when you got that tight of pitching.
We really think about this normally just with catchers, right? A catcher who's good behind the plate, more defensive. Can you play him as opposed to somebody who hits better? But Braswell, I do see a lot of similarities with Jordan Thompson, a couple of years ago. But he to me, he did save him a run.
When's the last? But when's the last ball that he was fooled on the catcher at the plate? He looked like he was swinging with a crawfish paddle up there. I mean, he was squaring up this has been, a month?
Yeah.
The home runs, multiple home runs against Little Rock.
Hernandez in the tournament, I think, was about 400.
Oh, my gosh.
And I've said this before during the course of the season. He didn't catch hardly at all last year. And early on, defensively, he had to get his sea legs in there. But boy, the last half of the season, man, he was a real asset. I thought behind the plate. Yeah. Terrific.
Well, Johnson gave him credit for Anderson's game too.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. We're brought to you by Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop. Nobody wants to go to sleep hot. Full service in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Service today, every day. That's been their motto since, back in 1980, one of the oldest and largest companies in South Louisiana. So you having problems with your AC? You want to get that checked out? Do it at Total Maintenance. Again, your one-stop shop in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans. We'll take a break, come back, wrap things up here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-30. All right, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Week after July 4th. I come back Sunday.
Go ahead.
This is Charles Henniger. Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Andy Isco joins us from Las Vegas, and we do first class, second class, no class, and another look back at LSU's 8th national title. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. from Doe's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All righty.
50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Doe's Eat Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge on the radio at 104.5 and 104.9 and 98.1 HD2. Online at 1045ESPN.com and with the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jimmy, this ought to tell you the landscape of college baseball. Now, Texas just got out of the transfer portal one of the bigger names, Stanford shortstop Timo Becerra. hit 330 for the Cardinal this year. So this is like twice in 3 years that the best player from Stanford, or one of the best players from Stanford, has gone to an SEC school. Braden Montgomery a couple years ago for A&M.
Even a different sports, the softball.
It went to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You know, Stanford was a baseball powerhouse for a long time.
It's a. We were talking about it one day off the air, and when Harbaugh was there, he kind of had the Harbaugh luck in the first couple of years of his replacement, where they kind of kept it pretty good. They'd have been in the Big Ten. The Big Ten would have got. I mean, their brand, their athletic program would have been. They would have been more coveted.
And the academics would have ate it up.
They love. The Big Ten likes to think they're academically superior. Oh yes.
They would have loved that.
But the way they've done, I mean, it's their athletic department is just they might win the All Sports trophy and some of this with the country club sports or whatever, but it's the ones that count. It's been really bad, and that's maybe Harbaugh's best job. I mean, to bring Stanford to a level where, man, and they were recruiting. They have to recruit on a national level, and they could. And it was, I mean, if you are a legitimate student and a really good player, my kid's a 4-star and gets offered by Stanford back in that era when they also competed.
Right.
Man, how don't you? The value of a Stanford degree goes a lot further than most other places. There's no doubt. And you go play, high level, teams that compete on a national level. Man, that is in the rearview mirror. It's been a while, so and they're just not going to pay their players, man.
No,
they don't have their alums aren't interested in going. Okay, I mean they're undefeated. They're playing like a top 10 matchup against USC, and half the stadium's empty. They're
certainly not going to outbid somebody like Texas.
No,
not a chance.
No.
Thanks to the folks here at Big Mike's for being our host. Thomas Kane Band coming up this Friday night. Tickets are $25. You can get them here at Big Mike's. Happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 until 7 p.m. And, of course, that's discounted beer, wine, wine by the glass. And, of course, those prices are good all day on Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. Here at Big Mike's. Not too early to start thinking about your fantasy football drafts. Great place to have them here at Big Mike's. Multiple size party rooms available here for you, no matter what the size of your league.
30.
Jimmy.
Man, the big TVs must have been a hit for watching the watch parties here for a College World Series as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they look great. Great.
Spend a little downtime tonight. No basketball, no baseball. Just take a rest, Jimmy.
MLB?
We got MLB.
Plenty of MLB.
Yeah,
that doesn't stop.
Tomorrow we're at Doe's Eat Plays. From all of us here at Big Mike's, I'm Charles Henniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice,